Welcome to Country Squire Radio. I'm Bo.
And I'm John David.
JD!
Hey, Bo. Good evening, man.
Good evening to you, sir. How are you doing this evening?
I'm good, man. Dude, we just jumped right in. It's
just
one of those.
Jumped right in.
Well,
Didn't ask any questions.
For people that that watch the live show, sometimes there's an occasional like pre-show banter, or maybe we kind of introduce some things, and then sometimes there's not. Tonight was one of those times where you were just like pushing me into the deep end here. So I'm glad I had my nose powdered and wasn't. Frankly, wasn't picking it for that matter.
That's good. You want to make sure you're doing that.
No, yeah, man. Things are good. What's up?
Well, I feel like I should address this since as you mentioned, we are doing this live and with the camera involved this evening, which means that people can see
poor folks
far more of me than they really ought to. I have shaved.
Oh,
yeah. I'm actually surprised you didn't say anything.
I knew something was off, but I couldn't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
And I don't plan to.
No, it's a good move. It's a good move. Yeah, my wife has expressed the desire to see the beard come back as fast as possible.
And what was the what was the catalyst behind deciding to shave the old beard?
Yeah, well, you know how like when you're trimming your bushes in front of your house and like you go a little bit too far on one side and you think, you know what, just no, and then you all the way down.
Okay, so you kind of you messed up a little section,
big time, and
so you were like, okay, well let's
do I go with mange or do I go with like child? And I went with child.
That's mange, like someone looks at you and is like, well, he either messed up shaving or he's a leper.
He's got some sort of disease, yeah. So anyway, it fortunately,
that's good. It'll grow back.
My beard typically takes about a week or two to come back.
That's good. You still have we've talked about this before. I grow my beard for a lot of reasons, right? I like having a beard. I think it looks nice, but also I'm incredibly lazy, and this allows me to not have to shave. But a not insignificant reason is because over the years, particularly in my late 20s and early 30s, I lost my jawline. And so, my neck, it doesn't it doesn't create a jaw. It kind of just goes from my chin down to like my chest. You know what I mean? So my neck is my ability, my beard is my ability to cover up my little turkey gizzard.
Right. No, I get it. And thank you for now having everybody notice that.
No, but see, the thing is, why I even brought that up is you don't have the little turkey gizzard.
Well,
you wear it well.
It's more defined when I'm a little bit.
It's good. Mine looks more like I don't know when that character from what's that terrible character from well, I better not go down that trail.
Alrighty then.
Never mind.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we go down this trail instead, man? We got to give a shout out. If I can, I don't know if I can do this or not, but I am.
It's your show. You do whatever you want.
Dude, I'm going to give a shout out to myself. Yep, did that.
Well, it is your show, but maybe there are some things you shouldn't do.
Well, I had some great folks.
No, how come? What's going on?
I had some great folks that I get to work with. Now, Let's Talk Jackson for the third year in the row won Best Local Podcast.
Dude, that's wonderful, man. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. Dynasty, I think, has been thrown around, but of course,
I think it should be.
With this being my last year in Jackson, it was kind of a nice, strong way to go out. The local podcasting category, our local area has a best of competition. And that is kind of the people's choice. And for the last 3 years, they've had a podcast category. And for the last 3 years, and I want to say
dude, that's wonderful.
Steep competition. I mean, like really steep competition. Country Squire Radio has been nominated in the past. So very steep competition.
Yep.
But yeah, so we won this past
well, that's
week.
Great, man.
So yeah.
Well, I love, obviously what you do there is really relevant for our local area. And so, just engaging with local issues and bringing in local personalities and people that are decision makers and that kind of thing. It's not just entertaining, but it's thought provoking and I think helpful for our community. So that's great, man. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And I do hope the show, I think, is actually going to outlive me in terms of what the future is. So
well, yeah, really I wondered, of course, we did announce a couple of weeks ago that you were moving to
last week.
Was it last week?
It was last week.
You're moving to Texas, but and we for about 30 seconds we gave a lot of people heart attacks. But the key to this deal is that the show will go on and very much its current form. And so, more to come on all that, but we're really confident about the future of Country Squire Radio and excited about it. But I know, a few of your podcasts, you are either going to pivot or, like Let's Talk Jackson.
Yeah, Let's Talk
I'm
Jackson.
assuming, that's going to be maybe given to someone else or
sold.
Or sold, right? Yeah, no, that's
it's
right.
a business.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah.
No, that's exactly right. So,
Yeah.
man, so it'd be great to see kind of who takes on the torch of that.
That's right.
Man, you've built a really good product here, though. So
Thank
you
you
should
very
be proud.
much.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Well, Ben, I'm excited for a lot of things that are going on. Of course, here in Ye Olde pipe shop as well, man. What's been going on in the shop?
Well, it's amazing. Of course, we talk today about it's cold, right? As we record this.
Okay, are we gonna do this?
It's We are. It's
wow.
January 29th, and the blizzard, the polar vortex, I think is what they call it.
All right, before we make light of this, in other parts of the country, this is legitimate.
No,
right?
it is.
Okay.
That's exactly right. I just would like to say I wish I had a photo of what the roads look like today in Jackson.
Oh man, the horror.
And really, I want to highlight the bravery of tobacconists like those that work at the Country Squire that would brave those type of conditions and really put their lives on the line for the people that they know on their school days off and bank holidays and government offices closed. That people are going to need for support in the midst of all the despair because of this terrible weather. That they're going to need to come to a place like the Country Squire to unwind and connect and all that. And if you could see a photo of just how bad the roads are.
If I may, here's what you need to do. We can help you recreate this. Go into your freezer, take out a single ice cube, put it on the road, and imagine that it was about a third smaller than it is. And that's what we're dealing with.
And then imagine, because of said ice cube being a third smaller than it is, then
and a single ice cube. I'm not implying layers here. I'm saying just one little
ice cube. Then the entire infrastructure of our city, including our schools, our government, and several local businesses are completely shut down.
Several local businesses.
It's so funny, man. I had people asking me yesterday. They came by to get last minute pipe tobacco and cigars, and as they were leaving, I was joking with them. I was like, well, is your next stop to go get bread and milk? And they were like, well, yeah, I got to go get bread and milk. And of course, no power outages. The temperature doesn't get to below 28 last night. It's just completely ridiculous. But anyway, I do want to highlight the bravery of people like the fine tobacconists at the Country Squire who are willing to put our lives on the line to continually serve our customers. So you know what, Bo? You're welcome.
Thank you.
I was actually messaging my father-in-law this morning. They live in New Hampshire.
Right.
And they were I was just like, yeah, you won't believe this. And, we sent him a photo of what the streets look like, which is just like a normal street basically. And then we were like, everything's shut down. The city's in complete disrepair. It's a complete mess. And he sent me a photo of his driveway. And it was like, 4.5 feet of snow. Like the wind chill is like -18 and nothing is shut down.
Yeah. No, they've got the infrastructure.
So, they know what they're doing.
It is crazy. And funny, I was actually in Chicago this past week. And I mean, you want to talk about cold. I thought I was going to die as soon as I got off the airplane.
Yeah, no, really. It does. We talk about a lot of pipe smokers in that area.
Big time, man.
And it's incredible, what people this time of year go through, particularly if they don't have a tobacco lounge or something that they can go to, a smoke shop, a pipe shop that they can frequent. It's really difficult. It really is. We talked about, our dear friend Justin Griffin up there who burned out several pipes just trying to huddle underneath his garage,
right.
To try to smoke in those conditions. Had a pipe pilgrim this past week. It was so great to see him. And he was originally from upstate New York, lives in San Antonio now, but had braved the weather, learning how to smoke a pipe. And man, that's commitment, that's commitment.
You got to do it, man. You do it in the cold, you go anywhere else. That's for sure.
Yep.
Speaking of anywhere else and just places in general, we have got, as we've mentioned on the previous episodes, we've got a pipe culture series that we're kicking off where we're going to be diving into places. Now, the idea behind this is we're talking about the places that you might go to enjoy your pipe. Like, what comes to mind? Maybe it's the place that you actually go, or some place of significance to you that is a calm place or a communal place, or maybe it's a fictitious place. Maybe it's an idealized place in which you would love to smoke your pipe. We want to hear those stories from you as we put together this series of pipe culture places.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. I really do. Everyone's got their special kind of go-to spot for that, and it's very much tied up in their Zen moment that comes with the pipe. So I think it'll be fun.
I think it'll be a blast, man.
Fun.
Pipe culture is always a lot of fun. So looking forward to getting into it.
Man, one more announcement. This actually came in a day ago on Twitter, and it's from listener Bob Meltzer at METZMOBOB. On Twitter, and he says, hey guys and gals, it doesn't appear that anyone has sent you the info about the 31st annual St. Louis Pipe Show.
Thank you. Yes.
I kind of retired from handling the details of the show after last year's show, but I thought I'd better get it to you so you could spread the word. And of course, he sends in some stuff we'll be sure to retweet out if we haven't already. But it's the 2019 St. Louis Pipe Club show. It's the 31st annual. And man, just really, really exciting. February 16th, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's at Webster Groves Masonic Lodge, and that's at 12 East Lockwood in Webster Groves, Missouri, zip code 63119. So anyway, just going to be a great time. The no admission to get in, but lots of great vendors, and of course, just a very historic, exciting show that a great contingent of the nation's pipe community will be at. So if you're in that part of the world or can get up that way for the February 16th, I think you'll be really happy you did. So,
yep. Hey, you know what? Since we're catching things here at the last minute, that's really good. I think last week there was a question that we got in about the awards, or rather the kind of the badges, the notifications of the best
that's
Country
right.
Squire Radios 2018.
Yeah.
And those are officially, actually, as of today, posted out to our Facebook page. So we've actually got a photo album with all of that. If you are one of the winners, you'll be able to find yours there. And we'll also be kind of promoting those individually on Twitter as well and stuff. But I think they turned out really, really nicely.
No, I agree.
If I do say so myself. So really, really excited to get those. So check those out. Again,
did you design those yourself?
I did.
Looks like you did a couple of them with your left hand.
Well, I'm left-handed, so thank you.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe your right hand.
I think I'm supposed to.
Whichever one is more insulting to you.
I'm ambidextrous. Well, there you go.
I'll get you some other way.
All right, man. We have got. I tell you how you're going to get me. You're going to get me this episode because we are doing one of the most fun episodes of Country Squire Radio. The lazy man's Country Squire Radio, as John David thinks of it.
Tobacco, drink.
Who'd have thunk it?
Evening with best friend? What?
Squire Select. In the Squire Select series, we basically take various beverages generally and pair them up with the best pipe tobacco or perhaps a preferred pipe tobacco that you might enjoy while sipping this beverage. And historically, that has generally been whiskey, bourbon, scotch, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
We have gone outside of that. We've done gin in the past. We've done tea. I believe there is either been a coffee or talk of coffee. However,
we did beer one time. That's been a long time ago.
We did do beer one time.
A long time ago. Yeah.
I love this series because the Squire Select series is so vast that we could do this until we're dead. There's just so many wonderful beverages, and we live kind of in this, especially in the beer section. But I mean, it's true. I think of whiskey as well. We're in this kind of renaissance where people are testing out these small batch type blends or small batch beverages that you can also mix and match with these small batch blends, and it's a lot of fun. Tonight, we're not doing anything that we've done before. Tonight, we're doing rum.
Yum.
Yes, because what do you think of when it's cold outside and there's a winter vortex? Rum?
Rum.
Caribbean rum.
But obviously, because I mean, it's transporting us to the islands, right? I mean, I think that this is good. This is good.
All right. I see that.
It's funny. It is interesting. Bo and I. Are you a rum drinker? Are you much of a rum drinker? Admittedly, I'm not.
Okay, that's good. We should probably establish that. So I am under the right circumstances. Like if I am on the beach, Yeah, I'm drinking rum, man.
Okay.
I'm drinking like a
Okay.
lot of
Is it in like a
various
mixed drink or
pina
like a pina colada? Or,
coladas.
okay.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I'm
Got
a
it. And that's good. Yeah, I like that kind of stuff.
I also like just kind of do the general kind of grog-esque of the coconut rum with some lime. You put the lime and the coconut, you drink them both together. That's my method.
Yeah.
When I'm sitting out on the beach,
No,
got
it's
my
good.
fishing pole in the sand as it's bobbing up and down. I'm sitting back, I'm reading a book. That is my paradise.
Okay, good. Maybe that's one of the places we can talk about.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm not much of a rum drinker, but there are things recently. I've been drinking, dabbling a little bit with rum, and it's been a lot of fun, really, because it's just not a spirit I've engaged with very much. Back in the college days, you drink a few things of this and that, and I think I drank some pretty cheap stuff that left you with bad headaches, back then. But starting to find some more interesting things here, going on, more recently, and it's been great. Rum is a fun beverage. Of course, we have a lot of listeners that regularly talk about their enjoyment of rum. They're pairing it with specific pipe tobaccos, and so we thought we'd give that a shot tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rum. What is rum? It's an alcohol that is distilled from sugarcane byproducts. Okay, so we think about molasses, or just sugar water, the actual juice from the sugarcane itself. This is distilled from that type of thing, and so we're thinking about something that's relatively sugary, right? You think of, if you've ever had just molasses, which in the South we talk about a biscuit covered in molasses kind of thing. It's just delicious, but real complex and syrupy, and a, a weight to it that I think is unlike other other things, other syrups
That's
like
good.
it.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
a lot of that is imparted, of course, if we're talking about rum, into that type of spirit. But there's a lot of variety there too. We have light rums, dark rums. These are dark rums are often drank by themselves, maybe on ice or neat, depending on the quality. You've got light rums that occasionally might be drunk like that, but most often I think are mixed with certain type of cocktails. We think you mentioned the pina colada, or different types of things. Obviously, the old rum and coke, which for the first 20 years of my life, I thought people were saying Roman Coke, because I did not connect that it was a rum and coke, and
Wow.
I just never was really exposed to rum, and
Were
so
you
I was
ordering
like,
it?
"Well, what's a Roman Coke?" No, I never ordered it. That's the
Okay.
thing. I was like, "I don't want a Roman Coke." Maybe a Greek one. I don't know, but really ignorant. Yeah. So
Amazing.
but yeah, just
That's what they were teaching it at state.
absolutely
right.
right.
There.
Exactly.
Let me get a side of shrooms with that.
Yeah, no, that's
what
right.
you kids
Yeah,
are
you
doing
got
up
that
there.
Roman Coke with the shroom,
Yeah.
right? No, man, it was just had no idea. But as I have you do appreciate the rum and coke and that type of thing. So obviously, rum has a very couple things. It has a connectivity with the history of the Navy, and particularly the Royal Navy. We think about the British Empire, and as it was growing in the 17 and 1800s. The concept of those rum rations, and making sure the sailors had enough of that to maybe drink by itself, or maybe mixed with water or beer to create grog, as you mentioned.
Right.
So that's very much a part of that sailing culture during the time. And of course, with the Caribbean being such a piece of that history, such a geographically significant area for the Royal Navy, that makes a lot of sense. As a pipe smoker, we do think about the concept of Navy tobaccos, right, which are maybe topped with a little rum, or flavored with a little rum, or some molasses to give it some added sweetness. And so sometimes that's the case with tobaccos that call themselves Navy, and sometimes it's not. I think it's more of just a kind of a homage to the flake cut, or a rolled tobacco, or something of that nature. But regardless, we do, if you are a seasoned tobacco smoker, you will see those tobaccos that are called Navy, and be familiar with that. So got a couple of fun ones tonight.
Yeah,
We're gonna
man. Let's do it.
gonna dive into this. The first one that I want to do. This is actually a regional thing. So if you're not,
Okay, we're going with this one first.
we're going to go with this one first.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have a dear friend, obviously of the show, that brought this to you, I believe, as
That's
a
right.
gift, a
Shouts out
Christmas
to
gift.
Mark VV, who I posted this out on Twitter as soon as you
Yeah.
were able to pass it along to me.
This is really good. You can occasionally, I believe there's outlets where if you live in a state where it's legal, you can get this shipped to you. But my sense is you're not going to find this, in a grocery store near you unless you live in Louisiana. And this is a really delicious, interesting rum. It's called Old New Orleans Rum, and this is their Tri Centennial Blend. It's 1718. Just a really really interesting rum. This is actually, believe it or not, the oldest rum distillery in the United States. And so the oldest rum distillery
Is that
in the
right?
United States. There's not.
Wow.
You think about rum, and we've had obviously over the years a lot of bourbon places and gin and vodka and other things. But as far as rum, there's not been a lot of kids on the block in the U.S. market. Where the stuff is being 100% produced here. And so, it's only a 23-year-old brand, which is kind of fascinating. So, this Old New Orleans rum, this is the Tri Centennial Blend. It was founded. This particular rum was founded by a guy named Michael. I'm sorry, James Michaelopoulos.
I'm sorry?
James Michaelopoulos.
Gesundheit.
Yeah, no, that's right. I'm assuming he may be of some Balkan heritage, Greek heritage, as it were. But anyway, founded in 1995. It's interesting. He went to Switzerland and was consuming a lot of things over there with some friends that were locally made, and he was interested in dabbling in spirits. And he was like, well, why can't we, make something like that here in Louisiana? What's interesting, Louisiana, though, he thought about wine, but it's not. If you're familiar with Louisiana, it's not the best place to even think about growing grapes, right? You don't think about growing grapes in Louisiana. Maybe some muscadines or something, but
yeah,
I mean, you're not going to grow super high quality grapes for Cabernet or a Sauvignon Blanc or something in a place like Louisiana. It's just not conducive to that. And so he was like, well, what do we have here that we can make? Well, what is Louisiana covered with? Sugarcane. Tons and tons of sugarcane,
That's right.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just in the United States, it's one of the centers of that and the hubs of that. So it's just a great opportunity. Several kinds of rums from the Old New Orleans rum factory have been produced over the years. Great rums. They've even got some that are infused with chicory. So we think about things that are local, native to them in Louisiana. I'm searching. It's like, man, they should try to infuse a rum with Perique. Maybe be kind of interesting.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, which has the effect of getting you getting you a little tipsy, but then also sending you to the hospital. So
man.
But 1718. This is
sorry. Hang on. You've seen the barrels. You've seen the Perique barrels. Rum aged in Perique barrel.
Oh man, it would be yeah, it would. I mean, it'd be incredible.
Would you try it once?
I'd probably try it and then spit it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but I mean, there's ways of like we have seen Perique being used in very small batch, whiskeys and stuff. It's not like it's aged in the Perique barrel, but somehow they take that flavor and maybe infuse it in some creative way. I don't know. I'm just saying that there might be a potential there for something that's worth drinking. So and that is not seriously damaging to your health.
If you say so. Speaking of worth drinking, you've already got some.
Yeah,
pour,
no,
right?
Absolutely. Take a swig.
A little bit of this right here. Pouring it down.
So as Bo is pouring this particular one, the Tri Centennial Blend, it's 17. It's named 1718. That is the year that New Orleans was founded. And so they kind of did this as an honor to the city of New Orleans. That obviously has been there for three centuries.
All right, cheers, man.
Cheers.
Okay.
Now, isn't that interesting?
So I was having a little bit of this earlier. I got like a very the first word that came to mind is caramel, but it's more like a butterscotchy, licoricey.
Mm-hmm.
I know the flavor. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to put my finger on it.
Yeah. This screams to me. It screams butterscotch.
Yeah. Right.
It really does. I mean, you can almost taste the Werther's candy or whatever in your mouth as you're drinking it. So incredibly sweet rum. This is a very sweet rum. And as we're looking at the bottle, we do occasionally like to describe the bottle. Very simple bottle. It's got a blue kind of shield, cover on there. As the oldest rum distillery in America, we toast New Orleans 300 years with the finest blend in classic Madeira casks. 1718 Tri Centennial Blend, fit for history. It's a very light colored rum, so this is extremely light color. It is kind of a butterscotch caramel color. And then you drink it and you think, man, that tastes like candy. Yeah,
it does.
I mean, it really like an old fashioned, confectionery. I mean, it tastes like butterscotch. It really, I don't know how else to say it.
Well, you even mentioned like the molasses, how molasses kind of has a weight to it. And while at first glance, this certainly doesn't necessarily have a weight to it, but it's almost like the flavor does. You know what I mean? Like you almost feel kind of as if
there's a richness there.
Yeah. Where there's has been kind of melted down, but not burnt down.
Maybe cut a little bit with some, it's not quite that sweet, but it's pretty doggone sweet. Yeah,
it is. And I mean, the taste, this is gonna sound weird, but it's almost got like a thick taste to it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, absolutely. Which I think is characteristic of a lot of dark rum. So
I will say this is something that, as someone who doesn't necessarily like drink rum straight up, tonight notwithstanding, seems like a rum that is meant to be drunken straight up.
Yeah, I think you're right. There is literally zero bite in trying this rum, and so I mean none whatsoever. And actually, that leads me, frankly, into the pairing of this tobacco. It's interesting. When I drank this particular rum, I wanted something. It's so light and sweet. Frankly, I wanted something with a little bite. I wanted something with to pair it with that exposed it to just a little more pleasant harshness that left you with I don't know, but just having known that you just consumed something that was strong and that kind of thing. This is such a drinkable, gulpable, really rum that is incredibly sweet. And so I was searching for something that was a very natural flavor, but also had a pleasant bite to it. Came down to a couple of tobaccos. It's interesting. We both of tonight's pairings are going to be bulk tobaccos that you can get by the ounce, maybe at your favorite tobacconist. But I wanted something. Came down to two, and the one oddly enough that I picked out is Peter Stokeby Luxury Navy Flake. Of course, we talk about and mentioned before as we're kind of describing the history of these tobaccos and rums. A lot of Navy Flakes are flavored with rum. What's interesting, the Stokeby tobacco doesn't have any discernible flavoring. There may be some lingering topping in there. Maybe they've used some type of oil, but the Luxury Navy Flake from Peter Stokeby is not it's not a sweet tobacco. It's not a rum flavored tobacco. You smoke it and there's just not a whole lot of sweetness there, but you do have the natural sweetness of the Virginias and the Perique that leave your mouth just with that pleasant sting, right? I mean, there's something about smoking a bright Virginia leaf, a flake that's torn apart, particularly if it's got that Perique in there, that just leaves you with a little more substance, I think. And so that's my only thing with this particular rum is that it was a little mild for me and pretty doggone sweet. And so I wanted to cut that a little bit and introduce just a little more complexity and substance. And so yeah, Luxury Navy Flake. I'll let you smell that, Bo. I got a little bag for us right here.
As best I can.
Great
right
tobacco.
Now my sinuses are like,
oh, you got the crud?
I do have the crud. So, normally I do like to kind of address the tin note and that sort of thing and discuss the actual tin itself or whatever the packaging may be.
No, that's right.
Here we've got a beautiful Country Squire labeled plastic bag.
Oh, that's something. Yeah. it's a thick 4 mil bag. Yeah.
I will say I like your approach here though, because, as you mentioned, Peter Stokeby doesn't necessarily have that strong of the casing, the flavor, whereas
that's right.
You almost get the sense that this is casing, like this is what they case other stuff
in the rum. The rum is like, man, did they really melt butterscotch and put in there?
You almost kind of want to you almost kind of want to submerge the Luxury Navy Flake, pull it out, dry it, and then smoke it.
Yeah, well, maybe
that might be a science experiment.
Maybe we should.
Hey, I do that before I drink the rum that's been aged in 3 barrels.
That's not a bad idea. I don't know. I could maybe get on board with that. So, man, so the old New Orleans rum, 1718 Tri Centennial Blend, paired with the luxury Navy Flake,
and of course rum with the Navy Flake. Always a good pairing. I kind of feel like it was like noise should go in right there.
I mean, it was kind of low hanging fruit. I'll be honest. The other tobacco that I flirted with on this was Mac Baren Scottish Mixture. Scottish Mixture also has a similar bite that I really find pleasant and obviously more complexity. But I think it was too sweet for this particular rum. There was a sweetness there that I just didn't think would pair. It maybe kind of overdue. I feel like the more natural grassy flavors of the luxury Navy Flake really pairs with this a little better. So
all right, man, great pairing.
Yep.
All right, what we got next?
All right, so this has been it's pretty good rum.
All right, release
the Kraken. The Kraken. That's right. Of course, Kraken rum. We have this really handsome bottle, man. Golly, it's just really good looking. It's just one of those that you're walking down the rum aisle and it immediately sets itself apart.
I got to make mention of this really quick. As you know, and as I've mentioned before, we've got the Sea of Thieves is a game that recently, by the way, has become like one of the biggest streamed games. Like a year later, all of a sudden people are discovering it. As you may all recall, I was here at the beginning of all this and everything. But we started our small group, the Squire Scallywags, and I remember in the early days of that game they had a Kraken that would attack your ship, and it didn't happen all that often. And so I remember I went through a bottle of Kraken as me and the guys were playing. And then finally I got to the end of the bottle. So I tweeted out a picture of I finally slayed the Kraken while playing Sea of Thieves.
I bet the Kraken slayed you.
But it was just the bottle. Later on, the Kraken did come and slay us. But,
no, that's right.
But yeah,
that's a lot.
Shout out to the Squire Scallywag.
Oh, that's great. That's great, man. This is good spiced rum. I have not. Again, I'm not much of a rum drinker, but from the rums I have had of late, as I've kind of experimented, it's been pretty tasty. Relatively affordable. We're talking what, 25 bottles $25 a bottle here.
That sounds right, yeah.
At least in our state. So not not something that's over the top. Very very affordable. This is a black spiced rum. Very dark, thick, oily rum. You can't. It's not one of those you hold it up to the light, you really can't even see through it. It's just very doesn't have that light butterscotch look that the old New Orleans.
It's like the ink that the Kraken secretes across the sea.
That's correct.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
And it grabs you and it tosses you about like you're a little toy in the bathtub or something like that. I don't know.
Are there Scottish Krakens? Is that
they go around and they try to stop all the Scottish ships. I didn't want to go with my pirate voice. I wanted to go with something a little bit different.
No, I think you nailed it.
Yeah. Right, that's right.
You did pretty good. you did pretty good. We do have a Kilted Pipe Guy listening, so
Kilted Pipe Guy knows the Kraken is out for him.
I'm excited to hear his feedback. So Kraken, I remember when this came out, this particular rum. It only was introduced in 2010, but this is a pretty widely available rum. We can find this, around pretty readily, regardless of what state or area you're in. But I remember when it came out, everyone was excited, and the bottle's really cool looking.
It is, yeah.
There's not much as you research. If you go to their website, Kraken's website, first of all, it's not very helpful. Like you go to it and it's very apparent that they're trying to sell the spirit based on, this is a cool, like it's the Kraken.
It's solid market.
And that's really all they want to communicate to you is that this is a cool looking rum. It tastes good, and it's called Kraken. Like obviously just go to their website. You'll see it looks like it was made inside a tattoo parlor, which is awesome, right? But I mean, it's just it's just not particularly helpful if you're like researching the spirit itself. They say it has 11 secret spices in it. Who knows what that is? But whatever it is, it's
Water?
pretty. Yeah, whatever it is, though, you got to give it to them. They've done a good job. It's pretty doggone good. 94 proof. This is produced in Trinidad and Tobago, and then imported, of course, in the United States. it's got a a base of super sweet molasses, cane sugar. It's thick, it's rich. Again, this is not a rum you can see through. It's very it's dense, it's oily. And you love all the romantic stuff that they put out about this from their one of the few things you can get from their website. I wish I could read this in Bo's great accent, but I'll have to read it in mine. As it is told, the Kraken rum is an imported rum from the Caribbean, blended with secret spices. Named for the sea beast of myth and legend, Kraken rum is strong, rich, black, and smooth. It is said that a ship carrying, this is where the ridiculousness comes in, right? It is said that a ship carrying one of the largest quantities of black spiced rum ever to be brought over from the Caribbean islands for unexplained reasons never reached its destination. Stories were plentiful, and while an attack by the Kraken is suspected, no stories were ever confirmed.
Dun, dun, dun.
Barrels carrying this black spiced rum drifted off the ship into the sea, and the rum was renamed after the Kraken as a tribute, some say as a sacrifice, to the beast's unchallengeable power and might. There are a few first-hand accounts of encounters with the Kraken, as most who encounter the Kraken do not live to tell the tale.
Ooh. All right. Well, with that, cheers.
Cheers. Isn't that good?
It's very good. And it's interesting because, Kraken rum, obviously it's got quite a lot of flavor to it. And I never really thought of it as complex, but compared to kind of what came before, you do get a lot of different kind of spices in that swig. But here's the thing. I mean, like it's important to note so much of the marketing because this is a rum that is built for because of like the marketing really
absolutely. Absolutely. And we talk about that regularly when we're doing Squire Selects, right? So many of these whiskeys, and we did the Pendleton Rye, I think we did last time. It's like, man, they're really playing up this this cowboy thing, right? And this particular rodeo that was real popular.
I know what they're doing. Yeah.
That and it's not even like this particular type of whiskey has even anything to do with that, but they're playing off that. It's kind of part of the fun. And and I guess there's a story to be told with everything, and if it's related or not, well, it just makes it fun.
No, I'm down. I'm absolutely down. Yeah. But delicious. I will say that with this one though, with it being kind of a black rum, you can drink it as is, or you can mix it. I often use Kraken to create dark and stormies, which is kind of a variation of the Moscow Mule, just using rum as opposed to, or dark rum as opposed to vodka.
That's right. I actually bought my first bottle of Kraken rum when I was trying to replicate a drink I found locally here. It was actually at the restaurant Saltine, which we mentioned occasionally on the show. But Saltine, local place, just a really good seafood place. You can go get oysters on the half shell, that kind of thing. But they have a drink, I forget what it's called, but it was really good. And just I tried to replicate it at home. So I'm going to give a quick recipe using Kraken rum. If you have your little bar tool thing, what's it called? The little flute? It's like a jigger, maybe. I think it's got the measuring,
I know what you're talking
proportions
about.
in there. So what I do is I typically will muddle a little bit of mint in the bottom of a shaker, and then I'll use 2 ounces of rum to 1.5 ounce of pineapple juice, and then 1 ounce of ginger beer. And if you put that in ice, shake it really good in your shaker set, and then strain it. You can either pour it on ice, serve it on ice, or just drink it basically chilled and up without the ice. Man, really good drink, and I've really come to love that. And so Kraken seems to be a good fit for that, and I've enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, Saltines, they do a lot of interesting,
a lot of custom cocktail. A lot of these trendy restaurants now across the United States, you see that type of thing. So
this is really good.
Anyway, try that out sometime.
So I'm on a pirate ship. I'm on a ancient vessel as I'm traveling across the seas.
Yes,
and the spray is in my face, and this Kraken might be below, and my accent keeps going back and forth in the same way.
Boy, it does.
But I want to smoke something right now as I'm drinking a little bit of this rum, waiting for the beast to strike me.
And what is it?
I grab my pipe and I pack it up with
sweet burley.
Arr. Arr.
Man,
just some straight sweet burley. Huh?
This is actually this is a great product. We use it in some of our blending at the Squire.
Yes,
But
sir.
yeah, really, really tasty by itself as well. This is Burley Light without a bite, BLWB, and it's made by Lane. Lane, over the years, of course, they have a lot of different real popular blends. We've talked so much about favorites like 1Q and HGL, but Lane has some that are just very simple and both on their own and as in blending ingredients. And Lane BLWB, this is a sweetened burley, so it's just got some little sugar topping on there. The flavor of the Kraken is so complex and rich, and gosh, you just don't really want to mess with it very much. And so I was looking for something that was mild, light, sweet, but not over the top sweet. And I really was led over and over to Burley Light without a bite. And in smoking this while drinking the Kraken, man, talk about tasty! Like it, just a really really good balance. I felt like it was, it, they both helped each other out. It wasn't a conflicting thing at all. It was very very good. So Lane Burley Light without a bite, a breakthrough in pipe tobaccos. Here's a Burley blend without Burley's traditional bite, and Lane Limited's fabulous aroma. This unique blend is not for the Cavendish smoker, but for the person who likes Burley. So we're looking at a
And really, who doesn't?
and who does it well, and you may
People
not
claim
you may not
they don't
admit it.
like. I
You,
was about
you,
to
may, you may not
say.
admit it, right?
Yeah.
But folks love Burley, and Burley's great. It's really good at receiving flavorings, just kind of simple sugar toppings like this particular Burley has. But it also it adds a lot of body, a lot of volume, which does go, I think, with the kind of molassesy Kraken flavor there. There's also, when you exhale the Burley tobaccos, there's a lot of smoke production. It's real thick, super satisfying, and I think it just goes well with the Kraken. So, Bo, give it a sniff.
All right, I'll do my best. Oh yeah. All right. So that's
Isn't
the
that
thing.
great?
When you mentioned Burley, I'm surprised you went this direction because of when you think of rum, what do
Yeah.
you think of?
Yeah.
Sugar. When you think of Burley, what do you think of? Sugar.
Well, you can.
I mean, I think of sugar.
Yeah,
Maybe that's just
you
a
can.
me
It's
thing,
just
but
it's so often sweetened, right?
exactly.
And it's also often mixed in your favorite aromatic blends, and to give things body. And we've called it before on the show, the tobacconist's best friend.
It really is. It really is.
It's a great leaf, but it's got some legs to it. It's strong, strongish, but the flavor's not particularly strong. Except for that nice little sweet sugar topping.
See,
that
that's
they
the
put on
thing.
there.
Like
So,
all I think about in terms of the actual flavor of Burley is kind of that sugary
is a sweetened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so from that standpoint, it's an interesting combination, but I see it. I especially see those deep plumes of pipe smoke coming through the air.
Don't you love that? Anytime you smoke a Burley blend, of course, there is a heaviness to it. If you do find yourself, we have several listeners that are Burley sensitive, or they say they are. Try, if you get the courage and someone's maybe got some of this sitting around, try Lane's BLWB. Give it a shot. I think I think it's something, if you smoke a quarter bowl of it, you'll appreciate it for what it is, and it won't overwhelm you. Really, really nice mild smoke. Really good.
Well, I'll say this. If you happen to be trying out any of these tobaccos and you're drinking your rum along the way and you fear the Kraken might be below you, you might want to know that you're sailing across the seas not with some $5,000 pipe that you might have gotten off of eBay and probably spent a bit too much. No, that's not what you want. You want a good quality smoke that you can also know you get at an affordable price, so that when the Kraken is dragging you down to the deeps, you know that you didn't throw away some $5 million pipe. I just spit all over the microphone. It's a Squire Select, baby. And of course, we're talking about our good friends, good quality corncob pipes from our good friends at Missouri Meerschaum.
That is right, man. That
was going to be one of the most epic transitions. I kind of fumbled it there at the back.
It's like, if you're going to walk the plank with your expensive pipe, well, we do talk about, on the nautical theme, we do talk about the Missouri Meerschaum pipes obviously being great for fishing and boating and things of that nature. And man, they're just
slaying the beast of the deep
and destroying Krakens apparently. Which I'm sure folks,
I'm talking about drinking the rum. All right, I'm gonna stop.
That'd be good. Yeah. Man, so many great pipes at Missouri Meerschaum, obviously. And man, the one that we want to feature tonight is the Mark Twain. The Mark Twain is one of my personal favorite Missouri Meerschaums. It's got a generous bowl, a tall tall, large bowl. It's kind of a narrow opening, and it's great for Virginia tobaccos and flake tobaccos. Tobaccos that need, just that certain kind of chamber to help those sugars bake in there, and just bake really perfectly so that you can enjoy the tobacco in its full sweetness. So the Mark Twain's great. It has kind of a Dublin shaped bowl. It comes in a bent and a straight variety. Really generous sized pipe, but a full large bowl, not oversized, but certainly not a MacArthur. But for a large pipe, it's something that is portable and handy and very very smokable. So anyway, if you have smoked a Mark Twain pipe, please send us a photo of that. We'd love to retweet that out. I think you'll really enjoy it if you haven't. It's a clean look, a great classic pipe. And one of their best. So anyway, Mark Twain pipes. You can find them at corncobpipe.com or at your favorite pipe shop or tobacconist. And tweet that in. Let us see some photos, and we'll tweet those out. And thanks for Missouri Meerschaum for sponsoring the show.
All right, man. Pipe question of the week this week comes in from Joshua Cole. No relation?
I don't think so.
All right.
Yeah, for his sake, I hope not.
All right. So Joshua and his wife are in the process of building their first house, or building a house.
Yeah.
He says, I've convinced my loving bride to allow me to have a cabinet in our laundry room for my pipes and tobacco.
She's like, well, I mean, you can have it in the laundry room.
Yeah, we can't provide marital advice.
Right.
He says, the thought I currently have is a cabinet with a single door on the outside, but slide out trays for mason jars, tobacco, and a single tray drawer at the top for my pipes.
Okay.
I've tried to find pictures of this online, but haven't had much success. Would there be any issues storing the pipes in a drawer lying down horizontally, given the fact that I leave them on the countertop for a day or so to fully rest before placing them in the drawer? Yeah. Thank you for all you do for the community. It's truly appreciated. Again, that is Joshua Cole, no relation.
Yeah, I don't think
suspected so. No relation.
Yeah.
Dad?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
What a way to find that out.
That's terrifying. Yeah, I know. By the way, I sent the DNA test is in the mail. No, always a lot of fun on Squire Select Night. Yeah, no, Josh, no problem with that at all. A lot of, especially if you're drying the pipes out upright, maybe on the countertop before you store it away. Man, I cannot tell you how many of the most sophisticated pipe smokers out there, their pipe, cabinet, if you will, if you can call it that, is a large Tupperware bin they shove under their bed. You know what I mean? I mean, we're not talking about sophisticated, storing ways here. I mean, man, just as long as your pipe is clean, if you do let it breathe a little bit, dry out, man, you're fine to do that. I think one thing you did mention though, this is a laundry room we're talking about. A lot of houses actually the pipe storage upright or not, that's not what concern me about this. I think what the first thing that jumped out at my mind, or the question anyway, was what is the climate control like in your laundry room? I know in my house, the laundry room was the afterthought. Of course, I live in an ancient house and it was just kind of shoved on the back. But, the laundry room is not particularly heated and cooled very well. And so the temperature extremes are very large in our laundry room. And also other laundry rooms, they have various extremes because maybe you're running the dryer and the dryer's putting off a lot of heat, something like that. That honestly, with the laundry room aspect of where you're storing your pipes, that would be my biggest concern, and for your tobaccos as well. Are you going to have a wide temperature variation that's going to monkey with the structural integrity of your pipe? Any type of thing like that, cooling and heating up over and over. Of course, your pipe is doing that, but if it's for a prolonged period and every day kind of thing, I don't know, that could kind of mess with maybe the stems. Certainly, the tobacco that's there with not being stored at a constant temperature. I would be more concerned about that, frankly, than anything. But if that's not a big concern because of the climate control or whatever you have in that laundry room, I think you'll be fine. But yeah, certainly storing your pipes in a drawer where it's not on a rack. As long as you have let your pipe dried out. And hopefully let it sit up, ideally a little bit before, like you said, on the countertop, maybe a day or so before putting them away. Man, I think that's absolutely fine. Yeah.
All right. Well, great question,
Great
Joshua.
question. Yeah, really great question.
And hey, if you got a pipe question for us, be sure to send that in. That is show@countrysquireradio.com. Again, that's show@countrysquireradio.com. Quick fire questions.
Ow!
All right, man. Quick fire questions brought to you by Country Squire Radio merchandise. That's right. We got a shirt now, and you have it in your possession. Can people buy it?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But very soon.
Why would they be able to buy it? That'd be crazy.
Yeah, why would we even go there?
Yeah. Yeah, really excited to get that to you.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Even more excited to tell you how you can buy it.
Soon. Yeah.
TBD. All right, man. So these are coming in from Ryland Brown.
Yeah, Ryland, of course, came down from Arkansas, man, and won our last slow smoke competition
That's right,
at
man.
the Country Squire. And matter of fact, the other day we updated our plaque that has all those names and record times on there, and so Ryland now has his time emblazoned at the Squire for forever.
All right,
Pretty
so here
cool.
are Ryland's quick fire questions: Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
I mean, prefer Netflix, but admittedly probably spend more time on YouTube. Form or function?
Form. That surprised me that I answered that so
It kind of surprised me that you answered like that.
straightforward. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go with form. As in thinking about that, it's got to be pleasing on that front, even if it's very functional. A lot of times I won't appreciate it unless the form is there as well.
Interesting. I can be either, and I appreciate both. But what I tend to do is try to surround myself with somebody who is more the extreme of one, so that I can represent the other.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like in any kind of creation type.
So
situation.
am I the form to your function?
I would have thought it was the other way around, but I think you're right. I hadn't really thought about it from that standpoint. Like I was thinking more about like product development, but I mean this is a product. But
no, that's right.
Yeah, but no, you are.
Oh, isn't that precious?
It's probably why I'm
like what
wearing like a hoodie right now, and you're like all nice with your.
Oh, I got my pea coat and everything. Yeah, a fountain pen. That none of that makes sense. Golly.
All right, fair point. Hamburger or tobacco? Wow. It's a Squire Select, ladies and gentlemen.
It is.
Hamburger. Well, the answer, of course, would be pipe tobacco.
Right.
Hamburger or taco?
Taco.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with taco. I love hamburgers, but man, a taco.
It's more versatile. You can do a lot more.
A doggone taco. I don't know. Hamburgers are versatile. I love both, obviously, but I'll go with the taco.
I feel like in the modern era where everybody's trying to do crazy stuff with both of these type of like food.
Yeah.
I guess categories.
Staples.
Yeah. The more crazy people get with hamburgers, the less versatile it is.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, now here's like 30 gazillion things packed on top of it, and you're gonna need a fork and a knife to even like attempt this. Whereas a taco, you just put a bunch of stuff in there. It's fine. It's great, and you can eat it.
It's very versatile.
Money or free time?
Oh, can't money buy free time?
Yes, I would say that free time. My grandmother used to always say that time is the most valuable thing because it's the one thing you'll never be able to make more of or get back.
Dang, I know, right?
And so from that standpoint,
as long as I had enough money to make it, I guess free time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, time is by all means.
I mean, really, you work for the money so you can have free time.
Exactly.
It's all about the free time.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
And then when you start using your free time to make money, then it's crazy.
No, that's it.
Pen or pencil?
Pen.
Yeah.
If you're gonna write something, make it worth it.
Pencil, because I'm dyslexic and I misspell everything.
No, that's good. That makes sense.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, great questions, Ryland. And hey, if you've got some quick fire questions for us, be sure to send those in. show@countrysquireradio.com. Again, that is show@countrysquireradio.com. All right, man. For listener feedback, we're kind of running a little bit later than usual tonight. Why don't we go ahead and just jump directly into the live feedback we've been getting?
Yeah, no, that's great.
Over on YouTube, man, Rob Peretti, Rob Petrie said, you had mentioned, what would people in Louisiana be able to distill? And so he made the suggestion of crawfish wine.
Wow. That is repulsive,
Yeah.
and yet we may have some listeners that are interested.
Speaking of
nutria, might be another option.
Hey, I can see that.
If you don't know what a nutria is, Google it.
Also, YouTube is basically they've collectively agreed that I should have been carded before tonight, given the fact that in my beardless state I do look underage.
That's fair.
Yeah, no, I think so.
That's fair.
Bob Metzel says, I hope they remember to talk about the St. Louis Pipe Show. We did. We
did at the beginning of the show.
To mention that. Do you actually? I don't suppose have the Can we give it another pass just to make sure?
Just one more pulled up?
We want to make sure that Bob is satisfied.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Never want to anger the Bobs.
St. Louis Pipe Club presents the 2019 31st Gateway Area Pipe Show and Swap. That's Saturday, February 16th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. They do, I did not mention earlier, they do have a pre-show reception Friday night from 6:30 to 9. That's at Webster Groves Masonic Lodge, 12 East Lockwood in Webster Groves, Missouri. Anyway, be sure if you're in that area, please try to make it. No admission involved there, and man, you'll have a lot of fun linking up with pipe smokers from all over the country at frankly one of the nation's best pipe shows and most historic. So be sure to go.
All right, so good deal. Also, Gene Barker says, this just makes me happy. Your accent is even worse than mine.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah,
that is whatever the opposite of high praise is. That's what that was.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, we're just at a race to the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, that's about right. That's right. I mean, we may be there, in which case we're just like pounding on the bass. But
yeah.
And then Russ Hicks, in reference to the Kraken, says he thought that you would pair it with Cornell and Deal's Blockade Runner.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, of course, lots of good things from Cornell and Deal. On Twitter, Commodore Perry, he says, by the way, I think it's worth mentioning that the Arista Cob mentioned in last week's episode, actually, they had the corn cob inserts were made by Missouri Meerschaum. And that's right. For a while, they were made by our friends at Missouri Meerschaum. So, man, such a cool concept, right? You had this metal pipe that had this kind of carriage thing that held a really clean smoking, cool smoking Missouri Meerschaum insert, which allowed you to swap it out. It just very fascinating. So yeah, pretty cool. Check that out if you listen to last week's episode. Really neat on all the different kinds of metal pipes that there are. Kilted Pipe Guy, he says, my reaction to At the Railbow York trying a Scottish accent, and it's a GIF of it's a GIF of a some type of sea creature running, and it's followed by the words nope, 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 nope. So yeah, I think I think he did okay. I think he did okay. Yeah. Gene Boker, he also says Bowker, I'm sorry, Gene. He says Richland rum in Georgia is great, aged in bourbon barrels. They own their own cane fields, and he's smoking some straight Sextant tobacco tonight. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, good stuff. Well, hey, thank y'all so much for joining us for the live show. And don't worry, in terms of the emails, reviews, and such, we'll have that more of those for you next week.
Yeah, of course.
The Squire Select, man. Sometimes it runs a little bit long. You gotta
wonder why.
I don't know. Because
I'm having a great time.
It's fun, man. It's the best. Squire Select. It's awesome. Well, hey, you know what else is awesome? That is, of course, following us throughout the week. You can follow me. I'm at The Real Bo York.
I'm at John David Cole, or you can get us at the shop at _Country Squire.
And, of course, the show's handles at Squire Radio, but all that and more can be found at countrysquireradio.com. We'll never do it again. It was amazing that one time, and those that heard it know what we're talking about.
No, if you heard it, you'll never forget.
Yeah, I know. It was like this magical moment.
Tonight was not the night.
No, it was not, and it won't be again. We just need to accept it. All right. Well, hey, man, this was a lot of fun, and hey, I want to just kind of close out by mentioning we mentioned at the top of the show, but we do have that pipe culture episode on places coming up. We've already gotten a lot of really great ideas and thoughts shared with us, but we'd love to have you share your thoughts as well. Be sure when you email the show at countrysquireradio.com, that information, put places in the title. It'll just make it easier to find it. And yeah, we got that coming up here in, about 2 or 3 weeks. It'll be a fun episode.
That's it.
All right, man. Well, hey, it's Squire Select.
Yeah, it's fun. Squire Select. It's nighttime. I mean, everything's right in the world.
Yeah, man. That 1718 from Louisiana as we fought off the Kraken that came for us. We fought it back. We grabbed our swords and pipes and we fought it back to the depths. It tried to rip us down and pull the ship of this show, but we wouldn't let it. No, we drank our rum and smoked our pipes and we sent it back to hell.
Let's go have a night.
Let's go have a night. Bye, everybody. Y'all are awesome. Thanks for having fun with us.
It was great. That was great.
And I see, look, I will say this. I see, and I want to affirm the thoughts that those of y'all who are saying, oh my gosh, we love the show. live at night and everything. It is fun to do,
does
especially
feel-
at this hour where it's a little bit less like crazy late.
Yeah.
But I will say, everything, who knows what the future holds in terms of the schedule and everything, but I don't know. There might be some live shows in the evenings
I
coming
think
back.
so.
I would
Yeah.
like that.
I think so. One thing about our scheduling is that it's wide open, and there are lots of good opportunities.
That's right.
So, yeah,
When
we'll see
you-
where it goes, but regardless, we're really we're committed to it being a lot of fun.
That's right. We'll figure it out. Anyway, bye guys. Thank
Bye,
you so
y'all.
much.
See you. Good evening.